We got to do better, New Orleans. We got to do better, Louisiana. Randy Gore's going to join us. You want to stick around for this. Squatters' rights? Can't throw them out of your house? I mean, it's mind-blowing. And, like, throw them out or threatening them or getting into a physical altercation or pulling a firearm on them and forcing them out of the house. You go to jail, and the squatter stays in your house. Randy Gordon's partner dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into this apartment that this squatter took over and basically destroyed the apartment. Anyway, we'll have Randy Gordon on in less than 10 minutes. You'll want to listen to this. It's sickening. No, these hyper woke, this loony liberal. I'm not against Democrats like I'm not against Republicans. But these loony leftists that are so extreme, like socialists basically, more concerned about the criminal than the citizen, us, the law-abiding citizen. We bust our tail. We're paycheck to paycheck. We're working from it. We earn our money. There's no free gift. There's no city job. Absolutely crazy. It's interesting you bring up Latino and the hyphenation. Oscar Perez Moran, hyphenated name. You nailed it, Corporal. Corporal's in the military. That is a gumbo. It ain't a potato soup. It's everybody. Rich, poor, black, white, Latino, Asian, immigrants that get citizenship and they love the country. They join the military. Not even like perfect English, still have like the accent of the country they came from. They know English, obviously. They're in the military. No, the military is a true gumbo. It really is. The armed services of the United States. It represents the United States. Why we're the world leader? Because we're not just one group of people. We're everybody. The land of opportunity. Oscar Perez Moran fell asleep during his police interview. He's the guy that drove on the shoulder and hit and killed 23-year-old Eric Anthony Jr. Eric Anthony Jr. was a MAP driver, one of those motorist assistant patrol. You see those trucks driving around I-10, I-610. They had a motorist that had a flat tire. He pulled over to fix the flat tire for the motorists. And Oscar Perez Moran was riding on the shoulder and hit him and killed him. And literally fell asleep during his interview. Yeah, I was mentioning we got to do better, New Orleans. We got to do better, Louisiana. Representative Clay Higgins is an embarrassment. Doubling down on the Haitian comments. Nastiest country. They need to get out of the U.S. by January 20th. These are all legal people in the country legally working in Ohio, in Springfield. And no one seems to have a problem with them in Springfield. But, boy, people all around the country seem to have a problem with them. Mind-blowing. Cajun country, come on. I'm 25% Cajun. I'm a Louisiana native just like you. Clay Higgins, got to do better than Clay Higgins. I can promise you this. Clay Higgins is going to do absolutely nothing for you that benefits your life. You're not going to have more money in your pocket. Your kids aren't going to get a better education. You're not going to have better job opportunity. The streets aren't going to be safer in spite of what he says. He's a farce. He's a joke. He gets people riled up, gets them foaming at the mouth, and they run and go vote for him for nothing that benefits them. Kind of like those folks I was talking about in New Orleans a minute ago. Wow. All right, stick around. Randy Gordon's going to join us next. I can't even wrap my brain around this squatter thing. Seriously. It's my brain's broken. I've self-imploded. You will too. You will too. You might want to head to Katie's. Decompress at Katie's. A lot of folks do when they get off work, and they're fading into dinner time over at Katie's in Mid-City. Iberville, corner Tallahassee. You're looking for a place for dinner tonight? Bring the whole family over to Katie's. More is better, more of the good things. A taste of New Orleans. It literally is as New Orleans as it gets. Go check them out tonight for dinner. Katie's in Mid-City. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Got a lot coming your way. Some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates we're going to give away via our daily trivia questions. I got a few questions. Some have gone unanswered the last few days. Yeah, a lot coming your way. on this Wide Open Wednesday, where you're the show producer, whatever you'd like to discuss. The Rouse's Markets phone lines are always open. We don't screen calls, and we don't cut people off that disagree with us. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. I am having trouble wrapping my brain around this story. My head imploded earlier today. Randy Gordon joins us live on the program. Randy, how are you?
I'm doing good, Corey. Thank you.
Yep, good to have you on. Randy, you and your partner essentially owns a building, 300 Magazine at Gravier. What, about a $5-6 million building, 9 units over 4 floors, correct?
That's correct.
Essentially, one day you go to the building and one of the units is taken over by a man by the name of Timothy Dudley, some squatter, essentially, not someone that leases the unit and pays you guys, just somebody off the street took over this unit, right?
The squatter.
I'm sorry, what's that?
A homeless squatter took over the apartment, brand new apartment.
Yeah, tell us about it. What do you mean brand new?
Well, we had just finished renovating the first floor, building 3 new apartments, and we're going to rent them. And like you said, we went there one day, and the guys had gotten the key, and he was in there. And when I told him to get out, he basically threatened me, and I kind of raised my hands, and I called the police. And the police came out, and they told me he had squatters' rights, and I have to go through the courts, which we did. Started that process in about February of this year. And it took about 6-7 months. And actually, I didn't tell you this, September 4th, the day after Labor Day, is the day we got the warrant from the city of New Orleans constable office in the courts to get the guy out.
Wow. Hang on a sec. How did he get a key?
From one of the neighbors of the building to us, 302, had a key to the 3 apartments on the first floor. And from what I understand, the homeless squatter was working, doing cleanup or whatever for the neighbor.
And stole the key.
Took the key somehow. I don't know.
Okay.
He got the key.
All right. Yeah. All right. And how much money did you guys invest in those 3 units on the first floor of this $5 to $6 million building?
Well, the total investment for all 3 was over $1 million.
Wow.
We spent about $350,000 to $400,000 on that one particular unit.
$350,000 to $400,000 on that one particular unit. What kind of shape is it in now, 7 months later?
It's destroyed. I have to go in and, you can't even go in there. It smelled so bad because he was kind of a hoarder too. Had a dog and a cat, and it's a mess. It's destroyed.
Wow, destroyed. A $350,000 to $400,000 renovation. This guy comes off the street and takes the over the unit. He threatened you how, Randy?
Well, when I initially went there and saw he was in there, and I knocked on the door and told, "Hey, man, we own this building. You got to get out." His initial response was pretty crazy. He told me he just got out of prison for murder, and he'd come kill me and my whole family. So that's when I kind of threw my hands up and said, "I'll just call the police," which I did. Started through the courts to try to get him out, and then it took a long time to get him out. But
wait, before we get to that. So you call the police. What do? They don't just say, okay, this guy doesn't live here. It's your place, Randy, your building, your partners. And they don't just arrest the guy for starters, or at the very least force him to leave?
You would think. You would think that's what would happen, but no, that's not what happened. I was told I have to go through the eviction court for a squatter. It's not somebody who has a lease or tenant. A squatter.
Wow.
He has squatters' rights.
Wow. Squatters' rights. That's mind-blowing. I mean, I've heard of that, like someone that's lived on like a property for like 20 years and those kind of things. But some guy just coming in off the street stealing a key, going inside of your apartment and taking it over. That's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's it's worse because, once you take it back over, which we did Monday at noon when the New Orleans constable came, they told us, okay, I said he was a hoarder. There's all kind of stuff put on the street, and the sheriff's office told me that I can't, that as the owner's rep, I have to get rid of all the stuff, but I can't touch it for 48 hours. And then this morning, the New Orleans Sanitation Department is calling me, threatening to fine the building. So I'm kind of going back and forth between the two, the New Orleans police and the Sanitation Department. It just doesn't make any sense.
What was it? That this is the New Orleans Sanitation Ranger Ross you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
She called me about 7:30 this morning, and when I tried to explain to her, the New Orleans police told me I can't touch the stuff for 48 hours. Her response was, "We don't care. We're fine in the building."
Okay. What about, hey, Ranger Ross? The NOPD are coming right now. Let's work this out. Why didn't you do that?
That's what I did. I said, okay, look, just stay there. I'm going to come down there. I went down there. When I got there, the stuff was actually moved a block and a half away, which I found out from the neighbor was the homeless squatters came in the middle of the night and moved it. The ranger actually pulled up and saw the stuff not there. I went up going to talk to her, and I said, look, I'll do whatever I have to do, but the police told me I can't touch it. She's still telling me that I'm responsible for moving it. And I said, ma'am, it's not on our property anymore. And I said, so if the homeless squatter moves his stuff to the French Quarter, I'm responsible. She said, yes. I said, all right, everybody hold on. I'm calling the police. So I called the police, and the police, I was on the phone with the police when her supervisor came. So look, let's just everybody stay here. If I have to move the stuff, I'll move it. But I'm not going to go to jail over it, and I don't want to get fined.
Right.
So, of course, the sanitation department, both of them leave. I said, look, let's just all wait here for the police. They left. They didn't even stay there.
Wow. So, City of New Orleans entities, the Rangers from the sanitation department and the NOPD, and not faulting the NOPD, the sanitation people wouldn't wait for the NOPD, another city entity, to arrive so y'all could work this thing out.
Nope. No, sir. And I told her, look, I don't want to make trouble. If I got to spend money to move it, I'll do that. But if I have the police department telling me if I touch it, I'm going to get arrested, and you telling me if I don't, I'm going to get fined, let's all stay here and get it figured out. Yeah. And they just got in their cars and left.
Yep. No, you just wanted answers. Randy Gordon's with us. 300 Magazine at Gravier, a $5-6 million building, 9 units over 4 floors. Some squatter who claims he'd just gotten out of jail for murder takes over one of these units that Randy and his partner had poured $250,000 plus into it, just recently renovating it. And now it's essentially destroyed because the squatter, thanks to the lazy city of New Orleans, got to stay in that building for 7 months. 7 months. Randy, this is just hard to believe. It's unbelievable. I know it's true.
I want to add one thing too, real quick.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you this. On September 3rd, which was Labor Day, and I went to the final court on the 4th, and I got the warrant. I was told within 24 hours that the constable sheriff would come and remove the person. They removed them Monday, that was the 24th or 25th. When I called every day to find out what was going on, the response was, we don't evict during the rain or any storms.
Wow. So
you got another extra 3 weeks because of that.
Man, I'm serious. I'm having trouble just, believing it. And I know it's true. And I'm not saying I'm having trouble believing you. I'm just that this is reality in New Orleans, even dysfunctional, broken New Orleans. Hey, give me the timeline again, Randy. When did this squatter move in?
Around February of this year.
All right, and then the constable said out by September 4th, right?
September 4th was the day we got the warrant.
But didn't get it. But they wouldn't come and remove him for 3 more weeks.
Correct.
Wow. It keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Randy Gordon's with us. So going back to the beginning, the police say you got to go to court. They can't do anything.
That's correct.
And what would you have to go file some motion? You had to hire an attorney and.
Well, we wound up actually having to hire an attorney toward the end of it. It was a friend of mine just helping me because the first time I went to the court, the very first time the squatter didn't show up, so the judge gave an extension.
Wow.
The next time there was a clerical error on the form. It said 1C instead of 1B instead of 1C, so it was given another month extension.
Oh, come on.
Whatever it was. It just seemed like it went on forever.
Wow. Randy, hang on. I'm going to take a quick break. Wide Open Wednesday, Corey Johnson with you every day. This program on radio, on television, on YouTube. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, home of the big store, Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford, the truck dealership on Jefferson Highway. We're coming right back. New Orleans, don't go anywhere. This story is true. Crazy, but true.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard. On Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? New location, bigger and better than ever. 2 stories, big balcony overlooking Magazine. More flat screen TVs than ever, more than you can count. Tracy's on Magazine. They're literally your home team spot. Saints, LSU, Tulane, Pelicans. You like watching the games with a bunch of like-minded fans? Magazine at Pleasant between Washington and Louisiana. It is the ultimate sports bar restaurant. It can't be beat. Full-blown kitchen, by the way, too, featuring one of the best roast beef po' boys in the city. When it's time to check out your favorite sports teams, hard to find a better place than the new Tracy's on Magazine. Kind of catty corner from that Bro Mart. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Randy Gordon is with us. A squatter took over one of his apartments that was newly renovated. This is like a $5-6 million building. Magazine at Gravier in the CBD. 9 units, 4 floors. This guy takes over the building. Randy calls the police. The police are like, we can't do anything about it. The courts drag it out. When he finally can get the guy out legally, the guy that doesn't belong there, it takes 3 extra weeks, just on and on and on. Randy, thanks so much for joining us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
You had to be shocked when you legally could not remove the guy from your apartment.
It is shocking. And let me just end by saying, I don't really even blame the police, the courts, because I had a similar situation. I mean, really quick. In 2020, I bought 3 lots off of St. Charles Avenue. And the guy, when I got my survey, the neighbor moved his fence 10 feet onto my property. And when I went to build 7 condos to sell, I lost 10 feet of my property, and it was a similar situation. Whoever came up with squatters' rights and put that into a law, they need to get rid of it.
What happened? Did you finally get the fence moved? And
No. As a matter of fact, I built the building, thank God. I was able to sell the condos and make a profit, but my parking lot would have been a lot nicer with those 10 extra feet.
So the guy next door stole 10 feet of your property and still has it?
Yeah, when I went and I got my survey company to lay the stakes out, and I went there, the fence, my stakes were 10 feet behind the fence. I went to the neighbors, hey, man, you got to move your fence. Oh, that fence has been there for 15 years. I got squatters' rights. Same thing.
Wow.
He got to keep the land.
People are just scumbags, man.
Yeah.
They really are.
Sure.
No lawsuit against that guy?
No, he was actually an attorney, too, and he told me, I'll drag you out in court forever. So I kind of just let it go, and because it wasn't worth the fight. But again, my parking lot would have been much nicer.
But there's got to be an attorney out there that would like to take on the fight for you just out of principle, I would think, Randy.
Good. I hope they are. I'll tie him today.
Yeah, I swear. Sue that guy. That's a pathetic story. This squatter's right. I've seen this big mansion in California, that's all over social media. They're tagging it with graffiti. These homeless people have moved in. It's a multi-million-dollar mansion. It's probably going to have to get torn down. How'd you like to have the, multi-million-dollar house right next door? And then somehow folks, this socialist kind of loony left mentality is like, they're rich. It's like, yeah, it's America. It's capitalism. Everyone's goal is to have more money. Everybody'd like to have a little bit more money. It's just this whole squatters' right and criminal over the citizen mentality is It's got to stop. All right, so the NOPD say you can't legally remove him, and what, they tell you got to take him to court?
Yeah, and that's what we did. And it took about 7 months to get him out legally. If that doesn't even make sense saying legally to a squatter, but that's what happened.
And again, he doesn't show up for the trial, and they give him an extension instead of like, hey, sorry, you're not here. We're going to proceed without you.
Yeah, well, the first thing that the courts asked me, and I try to explain to them, there's no lease. It's not a tenant. It's a squatter. So there's just the procedures are they're backwards.
They're beyond backwards. It's like your buddy, the neighbor with the fence. It's been there for years. Yeah. No, dude, you put it up recently, and the stakes that the surveyor put in on, on my property that you're claiming is your property. It's just, I don't know, man. It's disheartening.
Take the fence down and to move it back, and the police are called, and I get in trouble for taking a fence off of my property. Well, you got to go through the courts, and I'm in the process of building, 7 units off of St. Charles and Plymouth to try to make $1.
Wow. Hey, good question. Do you know the answer, Randy? Is this what is this squatters law? City, state, national? What is this?
I really don't. I did a little research when it happened on St. Charles and Plymouth, and basically just. I didn't learn too much about it. It's just that whenever somebody takes over land or a house, they have, like I said, there's a law called squatters' rights. And if once you're in there for a certain amount of time, you have to go through whatever that is, different situations. You have to go through the courts to get them removed.
All right, so you finally get this idiot out, this squatter, just a few days ago, just September 21st. He moves all his crap, his junk out on the street, and the New Orleans Sanitation Department says you're responsible for it.
Correct.
Did they fine you?
Yeah, they're going to start fining me immediately today. And I told the sanitation lady, let's hold on, let's call the police, which I did, because the police told me if I touch it, I get arrested. And she's telling me if I don't touch it, I get fined.
And they said what? You can't touch it for 48 hours? What's the timeline on that to give the squatter time to move his crap?
Yeah, I think the squatter has 24 hours to move it, which the squatter was there Monday, and he said, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. And when I got there this morning to meet with the sanitation lady, the stuff wasn't even there. The squatters actually moved it down the street.
Yeah, you said that. So you're still responsible for it moved down the street?
Yeah. So then she tells me I'm still responsible, calls the supervisor. I'm on the phone with the police. Like I said, they don't even wait. I said, look, let's just wait for the police to tell us what to do. And they just left.
And when the police did show up, I guess there was nothing to discuss with them.
The police never, I waited about 30, 45 minutes and I left. The police never showed up.
Wow. Dysfunctional in New Orleans. It truly is mind blowing. So what's the latest? You're expecting a fine today?
There was a notice on the door and we'll see.
What's the notice say?
Actually, I have it in my pocket. Hold on. I'll pull it out.
This is so silly.
The notice is warning of city code violations, and I've checked dumping, throwing deposits or dropped rubbish placed on city property. It was not my rubbish. It was
exactly
rubbish.
Exactly. It's the squatter. Go after the squatter guy who is still in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, he had moved about a block and a half down, and all of the debris or whatever the stuff he had in there was not even on my property when I got there.
Hey, condo owners, homeowners, anywhere around Magazine 300 block, be careful. Timothy Dudley might go take over your unit, and the way the city of New Orleans works, he could be there for 6 months or longer. Unbelievable. It's shocking. This guy should be arrested immediately and put back in jail.
I agree.
Is he living somewhere, you think, or you just see him on the street, panhandling?
No, I really don't know. I saw him this morning. I'm sure they're living on the streets right now, and which, I feel bad for the guy, but it's not, can't just take over my building.
You feel bad for the guy?
Well, I'm a compassionate person. I don't want to look. I just wish that the city would do more for everybody. There's a lot of homeless people on the streets, but the city doesn't seem to do anything about it.
No, you're right. You're right. So
that's a completely different, story from a squatter. But I don't want to see anybody homeless on the street. But no,
I don't either. But boy, your compassion. You're a better person than me. I'd like to see the guy arrested today and put back in jail.
Yeah, this particular person needs to be arrested. The way some of the things he said to me and threatened me, he doesn't deserve to be on the streets. He's got some mental issues.
And that's sad and unfortunate, but he's a danger as well.
Yes.
And this is crazy because he's got a cell phone apparently, right?
Yeah. He sent me some crazy texts.
Yeah, keep all of those.
Yeah, I have them. Yes, sir.
So, Randy, what are you expecting to happen? Like, you're not going to proactively go clean up his crap, huh?
Well, no, the stuff isn't even on our property anymore, which it's on the buildings over.
Right. I'm saying you're not going to touch his stuff, huh?
No. If the police told me I had to move it, I would pay to go move it, but I'm not going to go move it with the squatter there who's threatened me that if I touch his stuff, he's going to kill me.
Right. And your family, he said.
And my family.
Wow. Am I missing anything?
No, I think we got it all. I appreciate you taking my call.
No, are you kidding me? I appreciate you coming on the program, Randy. I wish the best for you. I'm just in total shock.
Thank you very much.
Randy, I'll be in touch. We might do, some follow-up on this.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
That's Randy Gordon. Wow. Not once, twice the squatters thing got him. Coming right back.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Yeah, I got to have a moment of silence till the top of the hour, the next 7 minutes, because my brain can't function anymore. I have a self-implosion in my head. How shocking, crazy is that story? The squatter seems to have more rights than the citizens, coupled with the major dysfunction in the city of New Orleans, allowing this homeless jerk to stay there for 7 months. Randy's a better man than me. You know, he's homeless. He's got mental issues, all this. I mean, I'm just like, man, get out of my house. Stayed there for 7 months. Finally, when the city ordered him out, it took 3 more weeks for the sheriffs to show up to kick him out. Shame on you, city of New Orleans. But apparently this is like statewide, regional, nationally. I told you about this mansion in California, multi-million-dollar home that squatters have taken over. They've tagged it with graffiti everywhere, just like, how can we wreck and ruin this place? People are crazy. You know, America is the best place in the world. New Orleans, to me, with all its dysfunction, greatest city. But this is beyond over the top in a bad way on so many levels. And then Randy Gordon's going to get fined by the New Orleans Sanitation Department for the squatters crap out on the street. That's no longer in front of 300 Magazine. Like, wherever the squatter moves the crap, Randy's responsible for it. Beyond mind-blowing. I swear, I wish I had a better vocabulary and more depth of thought to really tell you what I'm thinking, because I'm like having a mental meltdown. This is not believable. Not believable. A criminal can go into your house, your apartment, your condo, and essentially take it over. And they're going to be there a while because the NOPD aren't going to arrest them and throw them out for taking over your house. And then you have to go to court and go through a process, the painfully slow process in New Orleans. And then you get some hyper-woke judge that, oh, the squatter didn't show up, we'll just extend the court date. No, the squatter didn't show up, we proceed. And he doesn't get any testimony because he's not there where he's supposed to be. Wow. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Am I missing anything here? Maybe there's a legal mind out there that can explain something to me because I don't get it. 766-9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines. Hey, I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. I think this question's pretty easy. If Brian Kelly, LSU's head football coach, makes $10+ million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU campus, who's number two? Who's number two? I think yesterday Stan in Kenner said Kim Mulkey. He's close. Kim Mulkey makes north of $3 million a year, the women's basketball coach. But there's someone in between Kim Mulkey at 3.1, 3.2 million annually, and Brian Kelly, the head football coach, who makes north of 10 million. There's someone on the LSU campus that's number two. Who's the second highest paid on the LSU campus? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. 1962, a big year for 4 or 5 major retailers. They all do the exact same thing. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's like, when there's an axiom, or I don't know if it's an axiom, it's kind of a thought that when someone comes up with a great idea, just a great idea, universally great idea, a bunch of other people have that same idea at the exact same time. But then it takes the person that, has the talent and the creativity to come up with the idea and the business sense and savvy to get it all going forward. In 1962, 4 or 5 major retailers that all do the same thing started their business. They were founded in 62. A few of them no longer exist. Some of them are thriving. One of them's a monster. Give me 2 of the 4 or 5 that were founded in 1962. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. TJ in New Orleans joined. Oh, CJ in New Orleans. How are you, CJ?
I'm doing just fine. How about you?
Did you sue the Jeep industry for naming a Jeep after you, the CJ?
No.
All right. What's going on?
But I'm calling you, and you were talking about squatters' rights.
Yes.
And that does not apply only to someone that did what they did to this man. That's the law in the city of New Orleans. You can have renters who don't pay their rent and live there for months. And if they've been there longer than 3 more months, they have squatters' rights. And you have to go to court to get them out.
That's just mind-blowing.
This is not just for this, that incident. This is over the board.
Yeah. Have you experienced this, CJ? Did we lose
my apartment?
Yeah.
And then I had the people in the apartment who didn't pay the rent and would not move out.
Wow.
Call the police. The police will not, they cannot put them out. That's not a part of their job.
Yeah, it seems like it's a part of the job. It seems like criminal activity. You have a lease, they're not paying the lease. You have the right to throw them out, evict them.
That is the law here.
Yeah, no, I believe you. It seems like it's the criminal has more rights than the citizen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got somebody come live in your house. Just say your child come and live in your house, and you decide you want them out.
The child's going to have squatters' rights.
If they've been here longer than 3 months.
Wow, unbelievable. CJ from New Orleans, thanks so much for that input. That is absolutely mind-blowing, like the Randy Gordon story. Thanks so much. That's Blue Boy barking. Blue Boy, Basset Hound, he's shocked. 5 o'clock powwow next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock powwow on a wide open Wednesday. Unbelievable. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Hey, Mr. Drew Brees. Thank you very much. Randy Gordon joined us. He owns a $5 to $6 million building with his partner on Magazine and Gravier, 300 Magazine. A squatter, Timothy Dudley, moved in 7 months ago. About 4 or 5 days ago, finally ousted by City of New Orleans sheriff deputies. By the way, he was supposed to be out September 4th, but the sheriff deputies took 3 weeks to oust him. When I was talking to Randy to get him on the program and learn about the story, he's like, yeah, this guy moves in. I'm like, Randy, why not day one? Did you not just go in there and be like, get out of my apartment? He's like, he threatened my life. He said he just got out of jail. He said he'd kill me and my family. He says he has squatters' rights. He knew about squatters' rights. And to me, that's just like, boy, the criminal has more rights than the citizen. The criminal has more rights than the citizen who's busting his tail to make $1, doing the right thing. Randy and his partner invested about $350,000 plus on that unit. And in 7 months, Timothy Dudley, the squatter, basically destroyed it. Like they've got to start over again. Randy Gordon calls the police day one. The NOPD say, we can't legally throw him out, and you can't either. You can't force him out either. He gets to stay, and you got to take it to court. He doesn't show up for the first court date. The judge gives him an extension. How about the judge say, you were called into court, you didn't show up, we're proceeding without you. Then it would have been ruled against him. Sheriff deputies at that point could have gone in and ousted him. But even best case scenario, it's, a month, 6 weeks, 2 months in at that point where this guy gets to stay there for free. And then finally, 7 months later, he's ordered out. And just to add injury to insult, the squatter throws all his crap out on the sidewalk. Randy legally can't touch it for 48 hours. Like, give the squatter time to move his stuff. So it's in front of Randy's building. And then to add double injury to insult, the New Orleans Sanitation Department Rangers show up and are threatening to fine Randy. Oh, you're the owner of 300 Gravier or Magazine? Yeah, this crap in front, we're fining you for it. It's not my stuff. A squatter put it there. It's in front of your building on a public sidewalk. Then the squatter, unaware of this, just wanting his crap, moves it like 2 blocks down the street where he's panhandling. And the New Orleans Sanitation Department goes to Randy again and goes, doesn't matter that it's moved, came out of your building, you're responsible for it, we're going to start fining you. The fine is supposed to start today. It was hard. When I heard this story, it was hard for me to wrap my brain around it. Like mental implosion. I'm serious. Squatters' rights? I thought that was like someone living in a place for like 20 years. And then still it's questioned, like, you don't have the title, you don't have the deed, it's not your property. The person was, somewhere else, was under the impression it was being rented or a friend lived there, whatever the answer is. And then that person has squatters' right. That at least is like an argument, like you've been there 20, 30 years or something, but still, I don't think that's right. The citizen, the person doing the right thing is going to get screwed over because, hey, man, I've lived here 20, 30 years. You never kicked me out. I mean, at least there's an argument there over decades. But one day Randy goes in there and there's just some dude in his apartment that he just redid, $350,000, $400,000 redo. It's a $5 to $6 million building. It's 300 Magazine, 9 units on 4 floors. The first floor has 3 units. They spent over $1 million renovating those 3 units. And this guy basically destroyed the unit after 7 months. And then the court keeps giving the guy an extension. One extension was because the apartment's like 1C, and the paperwork said apartment 1D. So instead of the judge just saying, okay, there isn't even a D, there's only 3 units, let's move on. You got to get that technically corrected. We're going to, come back another day. And the squatter gets to stay longer. No, what blows me away, this started in February. Finally, by September 4th, the squatters ordered to leave. And the New Orleans sheriff deputies don't 3 weeks to oust him. And Randy's getting excuses like, we can't kick someone out if the weather's threatening or it's raining or... Really? The criminal appears to have more rights than the law-abiding citizen, busting his tail to make $1. Just sad and pathetic. Sad and pathetic. No, it isn't over for Randy Gordon. It's just beginning. Now he has to go pour another $350,000 plus into that apartment to get it right again so he can rent it or sell it, whatever he's doing. And now he has to worry about the New Orleans Sanitation Department starting today, fining him for the squatter's crap, his junk that came out of the apartment. That's 2 blocks away, where this squatter, Timothy Dudley, is apparently panhandling. Just insane, hyper woke, loony laws. It's disheartening. I mean, I know what people are saying. Man, I go to my house, my apartment, someone's in there. I'm beating them up. I'm shooting them. I'm physically throwing them out. And apparently you get arrested for doing that. Apparently you get arrested. Or you have someone that Randy Gordon's dealing with that's like not all mentally there and says he came out of jail, a 10-year stint for murder, and throw me out of here, I'll murder you and your family. No, Randy did the right thing, sadly, having to go through this painful process in New Orleans. Took 7 months and destroyed his apartment. And he's still not off the hook yet. Sanitation Department, who apparently is not on the same page as the courts, the Sheriff Department, the NOPD, they're going to fine Randy starting today. Oh, I wish I had better vocabulary than wow. I can't wrap my brain around this. It's beyond crazy, sickening, tragic, pathetic. Speaking of pathetic, Clay Higgins is a U.S. representative. Got to do better than this. Higgins on Twitter. These Haitians are wild, eating pets. Voodoo spelled V-U-D-U. Voodoo spelled V-U-D-U. Does that say it all? V-U-D-U. These Haitians are wild, eating pets. Voodoo, nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere. Cults, slapstick gangsters. But damned if they don't feel all intoxicated now, filing charges against our president and VP. All these thugs better get their mind right and their ass out of our country before January 20th. And then you've got the Springfield, Ohio mayor, Republican governor going, they're legally here, working, manufacturing plants, working here. A positive impact for the community. No one appears to have a problem for it. In Springfield, citizens that aren't Haitian are going, they're crowding Haitian restaurants that Haitians own, packing them. There's lines outside the door to support them because they're their ground zero in Ohio where it's happening. Clay Higgins is a zero in New Orleans pulling this total political crap. This is just to get the sad base that elected him. I mean, I'm 25% Cajun. It's running through my blood. This guy's a farce. Do better, Southwest Louisiana. Oust Clay Higgins next time. A cinder block would be better than Clay Higgins. He's a U.S. congressman. What an embarrassment for Louisiana. What an embarrassment for America. Just facts aren't relevant. Just ready, fire, aim mentality. And nothing worse than someone that doesn't know any information yet feels compelled to comment on it. I'd say stay in your lane, but this dude's a U.S. congressman. He thinks he's the man. The boogeyman. I don't know how he'd spell boogie because he spelled voodoo, V-U-D-U. Wow. 5 o'clock powwow. We're telling it like it is every day. Corey Johnson with you till 6.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, if you're looking for a job, a career, Latrim is hiring. This global manufacturing giant in Elmwood. Go to the website, even if you're not looking for a job. You're just a proud New Orleanian. If we had about a dozen or 15 Latrims, we'd be like a Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, Austin, Charlotte. We'd be explosive growth. Nashville. Latrim has about 1,400 employees in Elmwood. Their campus now is like 90 plus acres. They've got a North Shore campus off I-12 that's got a few hundred more jobs. And they've got jobs on every continent on the planet because they're everywhere. The shrimp peeling machine they invented, the industry standard worldwide. Even bigger than that, the all-plastic modular conveyor belt, Intralocks, the industry standard around the planet. The Lapierre stair, the alternating tread stair. I mean, J.M. Lapierre was a genius. His sons run the company, and it's privately owned. It's so big now, some private equity firm's not going to come gobble it up. And they're looking for you, a culture of innovation at Latrim. Looking for a job, looking for a career, go to the website, latrim.com. Latrim is spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. J.M. Lapierre's middle name was Marshall. Latrim is Marshall spelled backwards. Oprah took that idea. Her production company, Harpo, Oprah spelled backwards. Latrim.com. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines are wide open right now if you want to participate. Love to hear from you. Your comments like CJ in New Orleans, a renter. Somebody stops paying rent in his apartment for 3 months. He's ready to evict him. They claim squatters' rights, and he has to go to court to get them thrown out and loses more months of rent. And then he's just on the line for it. He's on the hook for it. What, are you going to sue the person that, probably filed bankruptcy or doesn't have two nickels to rub together in the first place? Just CJ loses. Squatters' rights. Crazy. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Yeah, that Randy Gordon interview, by the way, after 6 o'clock, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube, and you can check it out, listen to it. If you missed any of it, you're going to want to check it out. A good 30 minutes with Randy Gordon. This building at 300 Magazine, where a squatter came in February, and he just got tossed legally a few days ago. 7 months later. 7 months later. And the $350,000 plus that Randy and his partner just put into that apartment, it's wrecked. It's ruined. The squatter wrecked it. A little icing on the cake. The squatter throws all his crap out on the street, even moves it down the street. The New Orleans Sanitation Department Rangers are starting to find Randy Gordon today for the squatters' trash on the street. Squatters' rights. How about citizens' rights? How about the guy doing it legally, trying to make his life better, earn a legitimate dollar, and the criminal gets all the benefits of the doubt? There's just something clearly wrong with that. Hurricane Helene, they're saying like huge in size, like Katrina size, tremendous width, circumference, gigantic. Like it's going to hit a little east, predicted to hit a little east of Panama City. And that whole Gulf Coast of Florida, all the way down the western shore of, Sanibel Island that got crushed, all these places that got crushed a few years ago. There's going to be lots of wind and rain, and the counterclockwise kind of pushing the Gulf of Mexico into that part of Florida. And then I think the Saints play at the Falcons this weekend. And Atlanta's going to get hit by a tropical depression. like 50, 60 mile an hour winds and a lot of rain hitting Atlanta by maybe Friday, early Saturday. In about 24 hours, Hurricane Helene is expected to go from a Cat 1 to a Cat 3 over the next 24 hours. And in the next 24 hours, will hit landfall a little east of Panama City. Wow. This is such a sad story. Eric Anthony Jr., 23 years old, one of those MAP drivers, those trucks that patrol the interstate that help motorists, MAP, Motorist Assist Patrol. He was helping a driver fix a flat tire on I-610 right before the Canal Boulevard exit. And Oscar Perez Moran rode on the shoulder and hit and killed him. Major injuries at first, and then he died like either on the way to the hospital or at the hospital. 23 years old. Has a kid too. Tragic. A New Orleanian. Oscar Perez Moran fell asleep during his police interview. Fell asleep during the police interview after riding on the shoulder and killing Eric Anthony Jr. Absolutely nutty. You want to know what makes this worse? On Twitter? Yeah, I bet you Oscar Perez Moran is an illegal. Right away. Latino name must be an illegal. Hey folks, let's focus on the ball. Let's keep our eye on the ball. What's really important? Thinking about Eric Anthony Jr., his family, his friends, his little kid, losing a father, a brother, a sister, maybe a husband, a child. Let's stay focused on the ball and not assume. And wow, Oscar Perez Moran, he committed a crime, must be an illegal alien. By the way, illegal aliens / migrant workers commit way less crime per capita percentage-wise than U.S. citizens do. Because these migrant workers are here to work. Do some of them commit crime? Sure. Do some of them have a tragic accident? Mark Dean, who I work with at Channel 26, a saint of a guy, a producer, riding his motorcycle across the Crescent City Connection a few weeks ago. Got hit from behind. Could have been anyone that hit him from behind. Happened to be a migrant worker, an illegal alien. So that's the focus, not on Mark Dean. I'm telling you what Mark Dean would have said. Migrant worker, illegal alien, citizen. It's tragic. He wouldn't have been pointing the finger like, shouldn't have been in this country in the first place. It's illogical. First off, the meatpacking industry, farmers, dairy farmers, most of them are conservative. It's just how it works. Hollywood, artists, musicians, most of them are liberal. I don't know what the rules are, why it works that way. There are exceptions, obviously, but generally speaking, I'm sure there's some liberal farmers, but most farmers, meatpacking industry people, the owners of the farms, the people that control it, the dairy farmers, they're conservative. Nebraska ousted all their illegals. The meatpacking industry went in the toilet. A week later, they reneged on the law and brought them all back in. Ask the conservative New York State dairy farmers. They're like, get rid of illegals, deport them. If you can find milk on the shelf, it'll be $30 a gallon, and that's if you can find it. Now, these are conservatives that employ these migrant workers, and they've been part of America since day one. And we're going to deport them. Well, then get ready to pay $30 for a pint of strawberries. I don't know what to tell you. Some college kid needs to do a dissertation on this. What the value and what the getting rid of all the illegals, things going up in cost, this kind of pro-con argument. It would clearly go the way it's going. That's one great thing about American capitalism. It works organically. It works organically. There's not like some big rules or, hey, let's bring in all these illegals. It's just, that's how it works. They've always been here. They commit crime less than regular citizens. But, people like love in America, pointing the finger at something, pointing the finger at someone. They're a problem. My ills in life are because of them. And you want to know what it does? It gets these people foaming at the mouth and they go vote. They go vote. The extreme on the left, the extreme on the right, they love getting their base all roiled up, and it gets them to the polls. And the sad thing is, what they're talking about doesn't educate your kids, doesn't put money in your pocket, improve the economy, doesn't make the streets safer, doesn't fix infrastructure, doesn't do anything. Just gets you motivated and all mad, I'm going to go vote, and it doesn't do anything to benefit you. It's just sad. Speaking of, Representative Clay Higgins is like the worst at it. An embarrassment. Doubling down on the Haitian comments. Cajun country, you got to do better. I'm 25% Cajun. You got to do better in Southwest Louisiana. This guy, like I said, he's not going to do anything that benefits you, except yet you're mad, think he's on your side, and get you to go vote for him. And nothing in your life will improve at all. Nothing. Because he's a loser. The Republican governor of Ohio says these Haitians are a huge benefit to the community. You want to know what's going on in Springfield? The citizens that aren't Haitian, they are hitting all the Haitian restaurants and small businesses. The lines to get into the restaurants are around the block. They're packed every night for lunch and dinner, breakfast, whatever they're doing. The stores that the Haitians own, they're selling out all their stuff because white people, black people, Asian, Latino are hitting these stores and taking care of the Haitian people because they're a benefit to that community. But Clay Higgins on Twitter, these Haitians are wild, eating pets, voodoo, spelled V-U-D-U. Does that say it all? V-U-D-U to spell voodoo. Nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere. Cults, slapstick gangsters. But damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against our president and VP. All these thugs better get their mind right and their ass out of our country before January 20th. Nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere. This is just divisive, nasty comments by Clay Higgins. He's a divider. He's not someone that brings people together. He's a loser. He's not a winner. He doesn't do, he's lazy. He just says this kind of stuff to get you to go vote. Doesn't do the hard work, identifying the real problems that ail us in Louisiana and trying to come up with real solutions to those problems. It's sad and really pathetic, and he's a worthless individual, and he'll probably get reelected with 70+% of the vote because there are a lot of broken people in Louisiana. I use this analogy all the time. At LSU Law School, day one, they say, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people won't be here in a year. Law school's hard, or they're not built for it, or they decide they don't want to be an attorney. They don't want to go to 3 years of law school, whatever. Look to your left, look to your right. Fitting the herd, culling the herd. Somebody's going to drop out. In New Orleans and Louisiana, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people's just second rate. Kind of a loser, buys in all this crap, runs to the polls to vote for Edwin Edwards or John Alario or Bill Jefferson. It's sickening. It's broken people with major problems and dysfunction, believing what they want to believe or they hope is true, not what is true, where the facts are there to back it up. They ignore that, like children. But children's a bad example. Think like children. Just children are innocent, basically. These people aren't innocent. They're part of the problem in Louisiana. Run to the polls to vote for Big John Alario. Run to the polls for vote for Edwin Edwards. I had Edwin Edwards on my show a few years ago. I should pull up that interview. I said, name three things you did that benefited Louisiana. He came up with two, and they were totally incorrect. One was I changed the tax laws on how we, tax oil and gas, and it benefited the state. Yeah, it benefited us in the 70s when oil and gas was, rolling in hand over fist. And then once the bottom fell out, the opposite, it hurt us. I remember telling him, we got to fix infrastructure. Look at Texas. I own a ranch in Texas. I mean, it's insulting. I own a ranch in Texas. Why don't you own a ranch in Louisiana? The roads in Texas are terrible. I'm just like, wow, really? Just couldn't come up with three things he did. 4-term governor. Because Edwin Edwards is a deviant criminal. But people, I like his personality. I want to live vicariously through him. He cheats on his wife. He's chasing little girls. Just gambles at the mansion, goes to Vegas. Just a deviant criminal that set Louisiana back decades. I mean, you look at a state like North Carolina. I'll never forget. I'm at LSU, all right? This is 35 years ago. Buddy Roemer, a sitting governor, switches parties from Democrat to Republican. This was way before that trend. Way before that trend. Buddy Roemer was legit. He thought the Democrats were lost and not doing right, and he went to the Republican Party. And the Louisiana Republican Party, because it's all politics and nonsense, they endorsed this evangelical guy out of Baton Rouge. What was his name? Going blank now on this guy's name. It's so long ago. Boy, you know me, Corporal. I don't like going on with the story if I can't come up with the guy's name. Anyway, they endorsed this evangelical guy out of Baton Rouge for governor. That guy gets like 7% of the vote. Essentially, Buddy Roemer and Edwin Edwards, the criminal, and David Dork, the racist, they barely edge out Roemer. They all get about 30% each, roughly. And we get the David Dork, Edwin Edwards runoff. And Buddy Roemer was all about reforms. Like New Orleans would be like Charlotte now with the economy and the like. And Louisiana would be like North Carolina now. Booming economy. Charlotte's way bigger than Metro New Orleans, like more than twice the size. The Research Triangle, Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, the metro area is larger than New Orleans. That's just sinful. No, Buddy Roemer was way ahead of his time, but Louisianians, we didn't want to embrace that positive change. We'd rather have the Joker, Edwin Edwards, or David Dork. David Dork gets a larger percentage of votes than Buddy Roemer, the incumbent Republican governor. Just something very wrong with that. Clyde Holloway, I think, was the candidate, if I'm not mistaken. I think he owned a TV station, was, wacky right-wing, like evangelical, Bible over the law, all that kind of stuff. He gets like 8% of the vote, just enough to suck, Buddy Roemer's votes away. David Dork and, Edwin Edwards. I remember 2 bumper stickers from that election. Vote for the crook. It's important. And then David Dork, Führer. That's what it said. David Dork, Führer. I'm like, those are funny bumper stickers. We're creative. We got a lot of talent in this state. That's hysterical, but sad that we could have had Buddy Roemer a second term and trying to make New Orleans like Charlotte. We're never going to lose the culture. We're going to have Mardi Gras and to-go cups and 3-for-1 at the bar and hunting and fishing season, Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. None of our culture's going away. But because we're great at the, Friday 5 p.m. till 8:59 Monday morning stuff. We're great at the festivals, the parties, all that. The Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, we suck at that. And Buddy Roemer's like, no, we're going to keep the weekend thing going. But the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, we're going to start kicking ass and taking names like North Carolina and Charlotte did. Instead, we're exactly where we were 35 years ago. Edwin Edwards, John Ilario, the Heitmeyer brothers, Bill Jefferson. I mean, it is projectile vomit nauseating, you know? Like, go to the Home Depot, get one of those orange 5-gallon buckets because you're going to fill it up. Just sickening. Sad. But we like losing. Losing's easy. Winning's hard. Losing's easy. Got to do better, Louisiana, than Clay Higgins. Just pathetic. A total embarrassment. A joke. People around the country see that, and it just amplifies, exacerbates, just, confirms. Boy, Louisiana is a backward state. Dysfunctional. Broken. I remember when I was growing up, the Las Vegas, not their tourism line, but just like everybody's, Vegas, a great place to visit, wouldn't want to live there. Sadly, that's what New Orleans has become. Great place to visit, wouldn't want to live there. One of my buddies came in town 20 years ago. He went to D.C. Now he's in Denver. Loves New Orleans. Says he spends about a week here and he's ready to get back to Denver. Gets his gumbo and his po' boy and he's ready to beeline out. He's like, man, potholes and just dysfunction and just craziness, the news. He's like, it's too much. Hey, speaking of New Orleans and Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. These guys will steer you in the right direction. High quality Benjamin Moore paint. I painted my house a couple of years ago. Lifetime guarantee on that paint. My house looks like I painted it yesterday, last week. It's perfect because I went to Helm Paint and Decorating. Joe Helm steered me in the right direction, got me the right paint. Benjamin Moore, lifetime guarantee, all the stuff I needed to do the job right, for my painting crew to do it right. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, free 2-hour delivery so your crew can keep working. And now Baton Rouge, 4 area locations with free 2-hour delivery so your crew can keep working. Yeah, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LaBarre by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yeah, you right. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Hurricane Helene. It's officially a hurricane. It's huge in size, they're saying, too, like Katrina-like in size. It's going to be a Cat 3. It's expected to hit landfall. Katrina was a Category 5. When it hit landfall, it was a 3. But the tidal surge and the winds were insane. Helene is probably not going to have the storm surge for sure. And it's not going to have the wind speed, but it's going to be a Category 3 when it hits Florida. And it's the size of Katrina, like the circumference of the storm. We might get some rainfall from Helene in New Orleans. And it's hitting 350 miles east of us. the entire state of Florida, even the East Coast, could just be engulfed by hurricane winds and rain. So this storm, size-wise, is gigantic. And it's still a bad boy, a Cat 3, 115-mile-an-hour winds. But the rainfall amount and the storm surge is not supposed to be like a Katrina. Thank God. And what sucks is east of Panama City, that's like Mexico Beach. That military base was just flattened, like it didn't even exist. And that's a military base. I mean, it's like cinder block buildings and steel buildings just flattened. About 24 hours away, Helene expected to hit east of Panama City, Florida, or about 350 miles east of us, roughly. Hope for the best for those folks. You know, the Saints play Atlanta this weekend. Saturday, it's going to be like a tropical storm going right over Atlanta. 70-mile-an-hour winds, rain in Atlanta. Crazy. Speaking of crazy, just sad, 23-year-old Eric Anthony Jr., that MAP driver, motorist assist patrol. You see those trucks on I-10, I-610, helping motorists that run out of gas, fix a flat tire. 23-year-old Eric Anthony Jr. was hit and killed on the shoulder on I-610 right before the Canal Boulevard exit, assisting a motorist with a flat tire. Oscar Perez Moran was the man who drove on the shoulder and hit and killed him. He fell asleep during his police interview. After killing someone. Just sad. Also, social media, on Twitter locally, some people. Oscar Perez Moran, bet you he's an illegal. Just like people like hoping he's illegal. I mean, are you hoping he was drunk too? I mean, why don't we focus on the ball, boys and girls, and worry about Eric Anthony Jr., 23 years old, who had a kid? Here's a sad part, too. The Department of Transportation and Development, DOTD, that has these MAP trucks, there are people that sit behind a desk in that building like on Vets by Pontchartrain Boulevard, West End, where you enter the interstate. They get hazard pay. Like a paper cut or someone poked me with a number 2 pencil. MAP drivers don't get hazard pay. You're on the interstate where you could get killed. I don't know about everyone, but a lot of us have been on the side of the road 10 or 15 feet from the interstate. It's scary as hell. Boy, 10 or 15 feet, that guy's blowing by at 75 miles an hour. It's frightening. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be fixing a flat tire, just hanging out, chatting with friends. Hey, pull over on the side of the interstate. Let's talk. No, take an exit and go talk. It's dangerous as hell. And that's like 10, 15 feet away from the cars. 20 feet away. Whizzing by. I mean, it's just scary as hell. This guy's right on the side of the road fixing a tire. And Oscar Perez Moran again ends up being on the median and hits him and kills him. And then folks have to double down, and I bet you Oscar Perez Moran's an illegal. What does that matter? I can tell you what, it doesn't matter a thing to Eric Anthony Jr. and his family and friends. Illegal, legal, white, black, gay, straight, fat, skinny, none of that matters. He lost his life. But folks want to focus in on, I bet you Oscar Perez Moran's an illegal. Social media is just caustic and pathetic. It's a wasteland. And the anonymous folks with the pseudonyms spouting off stuff, hidden, secret, scared, hiding, yet big opinions, no information. Just it's a sad state of affairs, social media. Kind of like Clay Higgins with his repulsive comments about Haitians, just doesn't know the facts, knows that it will motivate his base and get him, foaming at the mouth. And it keeps him continuing to be lazy and not work, not figure out the real problems and try to come up with solutions to fix them. It's the lazy politician's way. Get the base foaming at the mouth, upset about the problem, and then you can double down and go, your ills in life, what's making your life tough, these are the people, blame them, these Haitians. The Republican governor in Ohio says they're not a problem, the opposite, they're a benefit. The Springfield community rallying around the Haitians. You can't get in a Haitian restaurant in Springfield. They're sold out. Their retail outlets that Haitians own, everything's going off the shelf because the non-Haitian community in Springfield is embracing the Haitians. But you can't find a goose or a duck in the pond anymore because they're eating them and the cats and the dogs. It's just crazy. Craziness. Boy, if you miss the 4 o'clock hour, in about 5 minutes, you'll be able to check it out. Randy Gordon joined us. He and his partner own a building downtown, Magazine and Gravier. 300 Magazine. It's like a $5 to $6 million building. On the first floor alone, they just invested over $1 million renovating 3 apartments, $350,000 to $400,000 each. 7 months ago in February, a squatter moved into one of the apartments. Randy goes to kick him out, and this guy knows squatter laws. Like day one is like, you can't throw me out. And I just finished a 10-year stint in jail for murder, and I'll murder you and your family if you throw me out. So Randy Gordon does the right thing. He calls the NOPD. They show up, and instead of arresting the guy, they're like, he has squatters' rights. You have to take him to court. So Randy gets that done right away, like goes to get it in court. That takes a few months. Amazingly, Timothy Dudley, the squatter, doesn't show up for court. So instead of the judge, and I think it was Tina Anderson Trahan, wow, these hyphenated names in New Orleans. What's wrong with your husband's name? Anyway, she's like, he didn't show up, so we're going to have an extension. Have another court date. I'll set another court date. How about he's required to show up, subpoenaed to show up, and doesn't, and we're going to proceed without him. That's bad enough for Randy Gordon. It's a couple of months in now that guy's been squatting in the apartment, and then maybe the judge rules in his favor and he gets thrown out. So it gets pushed back. Then on some paperwork, it says Unit 1D, and it's Unit 1C. And instead of the judge just moving on, says, no, you got to refile it with the proper, number. Instead of, we're just going to X that out, come initial this, and let's move on. Only 3 units on the floor, A, B, and C. There couldn't be a D. So that gives the guy another few months extension. So finally, after 7 months, September 4th, this guy's got to go. The New Orleans sheriff deputies will come escort him out of there. It took them 3 weeks to show up. September 21st, 22nd, just a few days ago, they finally oust him. To add injury to insult, Randy Gordon, the New Orleans Sanitation Department Rangers show up and say, hey, all this crap on the street, you own 300 Magazine? Yeah. We're going to start fining you. It's not mine. It was an illegal squatter. It's all his crap. Doesn't matter. Your responsibility. Hey, let me call the NOPD and we'll figure all this out. The sanitation department people leave. Don't wait. Don't want to talk to another city entity and get the problem solved. Then the squatter guy in the middle of the night moves all his crap like 2 blocks down the street. And the New Orleans Sanitation Department Rangers show up to Randy Gordon again and say, you're responsible for the crap that's 2 blocks down the street from your building. And starting today, Randy Gordon is going to be fined by the New Orleans Sanitation Department. In a couple of minutes, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. About 15 minutes in, it's about 4:20. We start the YouTube channel about 4:05. So about 15 minutes into that 4 o'clock hour, a good 25, 30 minutes, about 30 minutes with Randy Gordon talking about all of this. What's that, Blue Boy? Intriguing interview. Must listen. I hear you. But tragic and pathetic all at the same time. The dysfunction, criminals ahead of citizens. That warped priority. You're right, Blue Boy. Hey, New Orleans. Thank you, Corporal. Thanks for watching and listening. 4 o'clock mañana. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.